Okay, so good evening, everyone. We are here with a few directors whose movies have featured in the World Panorama section, which is a major non-competitive section of the festival that presents us outstanding feature-length movies from the renowned and best filmmakers from around the world. I apologize to the press for the delay in this press conference. Today, we have with us Mr. Ognian Glavonich, who is here for the movie The Load. Then we have with us Mr. Sergio Trefaut, who is for the movie The Rage. Then we have with us Mrs. Los. We have Mrs. Beatriz Senior, who is here for the movie The Silencious. Then we have with us Mr. Hadi, who is here for the movie Hero. And lastly, we have with us Mr. Sulev Keedus, who is here for the movie The Manslayer. I would request now the gentlemen to talk about their movie, starting with Mr. Ognian Glavonich. Sir.
Hello. Thank you for pronouncing my name very correctly. I want to congratulate you. I know it's difficult. And yeah, I mean, my film is called The Load. I think it's in this first debut film competition. And it's a film, I come from Serbia. It's a film that started 7 years ago. We tried to make it for 7 years. And because it's about one war crime that happened in my country, in the breakup of my country in the 90s, it was hard getting the finances. So in a way, during these 7 years, it evolved from a film about one story or one thing into something that's more personal. For me, it is now a film that about what one generation has left to the other. And it's not only about these ruins of war or broken ties, but also the silence about it, the inability to articulate stories about responsibility from the generation before mine, the generation of my parents. And it's basically a film where we follow one guy. I don't know how much of you have seen the film, but basically it's happening during one day. We follow one guy doing his new job and transporting something in the back of a truck through the country during the NATO bombing. The year is 1999, and the war in question is Kosovo War. So it's a kind of a mystery, it's a road movie, it's also a drama, it's also a war movie, and it's also a period piece, as it's happening only 20 years ago, but we had to take care of a lot of details. And that's it. If you have any questions, I would gladly answer. Thanks.
We have the director of Rage, Sergio Trefaut. We also have the lead actors of the movie, Mr. Hugo Bentes and Ms. Katrina Wallenstein. I may also add that Ma'am Antoinette for the movie Never Not Love You could not join us. In her place, we have Zio Derek on behalf of her, so he would be able to answer the questions about the movie if you would be having any. Thank you, sir. Yes, press it.
Okay, good afternoon also. I don't know, the same question, how much of you have seen the film, so I don't know what I have to resume or not. So, Rage, Raiva, is an adaptation of a novel of the 50s, Portugal. Portugal just before Goa got independent from Portugal, so it's a portrait of the countryside of this very retrograde, very dictatorship, and the way people would live under this dictatorship, where in the countryside, people who own the land not only own the land, but own the they have power over the church, power over the politicians, power over the justice, and they almost own the people who work in this land. It was a kind of system that looks like medieval in the middle of the 20th century. And the novel I adapt was banished just after it was published. It was only released after the democracy in Portugal, 74. And it portrays a country totally in black and white. And that was the reason I decided to make the film in black and white as a kind of a tribute to cinema, a tribute. I particularly love silent movies, and I love people who express everything without words, so it's not a very much talkative film, but it is also kind of a genre film that it resembles those dry lands of southern Portugal, resemble to some Western and also black movies somehow, but it is above all a film about injustice, about abuse of power, and where the leading character, Hugo, explodes due to this continuous abuse. It was a pleasure to shoot this film in some way, because putting together some gigantic actors like Sergio Lopez coming from France, or the most important actors in Portugal, or important generation like Catarina that comes as the new wave of actors, and new total actors. If you have seen the movie, Hugo is the first time he makes this film, and it was really a big pleasure to put all this together and make something for the audience that is not conventional. Thank you.
Hi. It's fine?
No, ma'am, it's not on.
I have to push. Okay. So my film is Los Silencious. It's a story of a mother, a Colombian mother, who migrates to Brazil with her kids. And she finds the father of the kid, who was supposed to be dead, living in an island between Brazil, Colombia, and Peru. The island where we shot the film is called La Isla de la Fantasia. It really exists there. It's an island that had appeared like 20 years ago. It stays like 4 months underneath the water and 8 months over the water. And is an island populated by people from all over the region, and also by ghosts and alive people. So it's a film that takes place in this border region. It also have like two great actors, one great actress, which is the mother, and another great professional actor, which is the father, Henrique Dias and Marleida Soto. But all the other characters, they are people who lives in the island, and then I rewrote the script to have them playing themselves in the film. I also have no idea if you have seen the film or not, so I don't know. Maybe it's better if I wait for the questions so I can say something more. Yeah, thank you.
Hello, I'm Hadi Mohaghegh, director Hero, and this from Iran.
Tere, ma räägin eesti keeles, aga mul on võimalus, et see tõlgitakse. Erle tõlgib. Et minu film on Mehe tapp ja süütu vari, mis on Eestist.
Hello, I'm from Estonia, Sulev Keedus, and I'm talking in our own language, and I will be translated. The film is The Manslayer, The Virgin, The Shadow.
See film on 3 novellist, mille tegevus toimub erinevatel aegadel, jõuab tänapäeva välja.
The film consists of 3 novels, all different eras, and it ends like nowadays.
See film on hästi isiklik mulle, sellepärast, et meie rahvas on hästi väike. Meie keelt räägib 800,000 inimest.
This is very personal film for myself because our nation is very small and the language we speak is spoken only by less than million people.
ja see film on siis keskendunud igas novellis ühele peategelasele, kelleks on noor neiu.
In each of the novels, the main character is a young woman.
ja ma arvan, et ma mitte kunagi ei mõelnud sellele, et see film jõuab Indiasse ja ma ei mõelnud ka sellele, et mina jõuan Indiasse, sest et ma olen siin esimest korda. Aga see ei olegi oluline.
I've never thought that this film will be screened in India, and I have never thought that I personally be here. Of course, this is not important, but
aga mul on hea tunne, et ma siin olen.
But I'm feeling very good.
Ja mu sõbrad on kõik Indias käinud ja ma olen kogu aeg mõelnud, et ma tahaksin siia sattuda, nüüd ma olen siin.
All my friends have been in India, and I've thought one day maybe I will be here too, and now with film, not personally.
Mr. Hadi, would you like to talk about your movie? About your movie, basic, like the idea about the movie, the characters, what's your movie is about? So on the mic.
Yes, about continue is better. And more is imagine, picture. Yes. For me is this. Talk about this continue is better, I think.
Now I would request the press to ask any questions they would want to. The floor is open for questions.
Hello, Mr. Glavonich. This is question to you. This is Mahesh. If you are asked to put your movie in one genre, which film you would put it? As you said, it is at intersection of various genres. If someone asks you, you have to now put it in one genre, which would you prefer? Why?
I'm not sure. I mean, it's not a genre film. It has these certain tropes of genre films, but it's betraying them throughout the film. Maybe it's a mystery, maybe it's a road movie. Yeah. It has elements of both. I don't know really. I mean, it depends. Did you see the film? You know, for in my country, they're speaking about it only as a war film, but it's not a war film. It's happening during the war. And my lead actor, he says this is a Balkan family film, because in Balkans families you always have war. And I don't know, maybe that drama.
Are there any more questions? Sir, can you?
This question is to the lady who is sitting right in the center with all the men, you know. So how difficult it is to being a woman and being in the industry and having a baby that we can see, and how difficult is that to cope up, or is it equal, or there's equality? What would you say about that?
Thank you. So my film, in Brazil, we finance film through a film fund called Fundo Setorial do Audiovisual, which is industry fund where every ticket that you buy goes to this fund, a little percentage, and every television and smartphones or telecom companies, they pay a little tax to this fund. And we are fighting there to have equal opportunity for both genders. We haven't got that yet, the women's movement there. Also, we would like to have a percentage for black or ethnical directors. But we got a little indutor, I don't know how to say that. Like if a project is directed by a woman, the points value a little bit more. I mean, a little bit. It's just like they didn't give us 50%, so they put like this little thing, so we are a little bit happy. But right now we don't know if this fund is going to continue to exist because of the horrible political situation that Brazil is passing through. I don't know if everybody knows about it here in Brazil. I don't even know how to describe him. A very misogynist, racist, crazy person has been elected in Brazil right now. This film took me 8 years since I started writing it. I started writing at the end of 2009, beginning of 2010. I have sent it to 37 grants, and we won 6. So it's been a long journey to find funding for it. Most of the pitches that I did, it was only with men, and I was talking about this story of a mother. Also, yeah, I got pregnant in the middle of this journey, and all the head departments of my films are women. The DOP is a woman, the art director is a woman, the dress person is a woman, the editor is a woman. I'm the writer, director, and producer. We had 3 women breastfeeding on set, which was like a challenge. I was one of them. We started the film, he was 9 months, and then when we finished, we went there many times, and when we finished, he was 2 years old. We had to create a system where everybody of the crew understood there was another timing because of that. So we allowed that every woman that was breastfeeding to bring somebody to help to take care of the kid. We made in the hotel a space for the kids so they could play. We hired somebody to also help the grandmothers or the fathers who were there. And on the breaks of the shootings, they would come so they could be breastfeed. And sometimes they would stay there if they are quiet, or they would just like go around in boats because we were in the middle of the Amazon. So I think there are many challenges. One of the challenges in Brazil is that we don't have maternity leave because we are freelancers. So we don't have like and most of the women when they get pregnant in Brazil, they are not able to go back to the industry because the industry, if you are shooting, is like 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. So you have not time to do anything else. So a lot of women, they just decide to leave the industry. We are trying to change that, especially with TV series, because then it's a very long period of shootings and it's impossible to take care of a family or anything if you have to work 12 hours a day plus 1 hour of transportation or 2 hours of transportation 6 days a week. So, yeah, there's a lot of things to be changed.
Are there any more questions?
And of course, like of the films made in Brazil, I think that less than 20% is directed by women still.
Into Mr. Glavnich, a lot of things are spoken about Indian cinema, especially Hindi, being very popular or used to be being popular in Russia. What is the scenario in Serbia? I mean, is there any presence? Indian movies, Hindi movies?
In Serbia? There is no, I mean, you cannot see them in the cinemas. There's hardly Serbian films in cinemas in Serbia. So it's, we don't have an industry. I mean, we have something that's like a simulation of an industry. But we make like 10 to 15 films a year. Half of them goes to the distribution. And the rest, like 95%, is Hollywood. It's American, unfortunately. And basically where you can see some films, it's festivals. And I think that probably the Indian Embassy is organizing some days of Indian films, something like that. I know that at one festival, I don't know if you know Gurvinder Singh, he won it with his film Fourth Direction, Chauti Kot. He won 3 or 4 years ago at the biggest festival in Belgrade. And then he was in the jury, so yeah, that's the only Indian film I can think of that was screened like in front of the audience in cinema.
Do you think OTT platform will be helpful for even countries like you?
You know, we all of us in Serbia, we are stealing the films. We are downloading them from the internet, from torrents, from streaming. Nobody's actually, so in this way, like VODs and Netflix and stuff like this, they exist. But if it's available on torrents, everybody just downloads. it's a poor, it's a low, it's a poor country, and people don't want to spend money on something they can download for free, and there is no fear of being persecuted because of that. So it's basically, I mean, all of the Indian films that are on torrents or that you can find online, you can see, but it's, as I told you, there's no industry. There is not even laws like that are controlling this, protecting even the Serbian films.
I would like to extend this question to all the people on the panel. Have you watched any Indian cinema, or did you like any particular thing about Indian cinema? This question is for all of you, sirs and ma'am. If you...
I am one of the organizers of the Indian Film Festival in Brazil, so I have seen many of them. Actually, my first feature film was shot here. It's called Bollywood Dream. It's the first Indian-Brazilian film co-production. We made a treaty between the governments in order to make that. It's the story of 3 Brazilian actresses that were tired of being exploited in the Brazilian media, their bodies, so they go to India to try to make a more spiritual films and philosophical films, and they end up with the bikinis again. It's a road movie. I shot it 10 years ago. And it's very funny because of that film, I met Anurag Kashyap because he left the film, and we invited him to go to Brazil to make a retrospective of his work. And he was like, "Oh, where is your next film? Where is your next film? I want to see your next film." He pirated my first film to everybody in India. So I got to know that my film was seen by a lot of filmmakers because of him. He made like personal DVDs and gave to everybody. And then he was the first one who read this script of this film now. And he invited me to go to Cannes. He was going to show Gangs of Weisserpool there. So I could meet producers and, like financiers and all of that. And that's how I met my French co-producer, Thierry Lenovel, from Cine Sud Promotion, which is a great French producer, and also my Colombian co-producer, Daniel Garcia. So it was thanks to India that I actually co-produced with France and Colombia. He wanted to co-produce this film, but at the end he couldn't find financing for it. But it's still he's still associated producer, and maybe, hopefully, I would love to have it distributed here. It was crazy. It was lovely and crazy. So the producer of that first film was Ram Devinedi from the Prasad family in Chennai. So they have great studios and a lot of facilities. I met him also in a screening of The Terrorist from Santa Shivan in Brazil, which I love it. And then I was with my script, and he said, "Okay, I don't have a lot of money, but I can give you like an apartment there, and like get some assistants to help you out to make the film." So when I start shooting, I had a DOP from here, and I have a whole crew from here, but it was very different styles of shooting. I wanted to have a more documentary style. So at the end, I decided to do the camera myself and just work with the assistants to get everything. So we shot on the street. It's a really, really low budget. It's more a journey of these 3 Brazilian actresses here. But it was funny and crazy at the same time, because everywhere we go, we have like thousands of people like following us. But we had a lot of help, and people were very friendly. And I was I've been coming here, like it's already maybe my 7th or 8th time here. I lived here when I was 18, before everything. I studied Odyssey dance when I was a teenager. So I came here after finishing college, because I didn't know exactly what to do with my life. It's a good place to come when you don't know what to do with your life. And there was a course on Satyajit Ray's films here. But when I arrived here, it was very hot, so they canceled the course. And I just had Odyssey classes with Kalucharan Mohapatra in Orissa. And I worked in a small hospital in Auroville, in Chennai, in Pondicherry. So, yeah.
Of course, as in other countries, in Portugal, you have retrospectives of Satyajit Ray, etc., classical movies. Once there was in cinema some Indian movies, but it doesn't exist anymore. So whether you watch Indian movies in festivals, mainly documentaries, whether classicals in the Film Institute, I would say. And that's what happened to me.
Mr. Hadi,
Yes.
do you like? Have you seen Indian cinema? Have you seen Indian cinema? And
My opinion about cinema in India.
yes, Indian cinema. And what do you like about it?
It's I think I don't know. This I say is true or no. I don't know. This is just my opinion in mind. In Indian people, Indian very have talent for good make good film and good painter and good say poem, because here we have inspiration. Okay. اوکی سلام احمد جان عزیزی سر الان من میگم اگه جای گیر کردم شما کمکم کن لطفاً. Okay. Because here have good inspiration. But I don't know. For me, every time this is question. Why in Indian cinema very is mental in just imagine for example one car in one مثلا میخواد از یک ارتفاع عبور کنه بیفته
like it's very high class no
مثلا انگار از یک ارتفاعی میخواد بیفته و نمیفته، یا اگر هم میفته هیچ اتفاقی نمیفته. این برای من سوال. این در جهان واقع نه اینکه مشکل داشته باشم با فضای فانتزی، ولی فیلم اون چیزی رو که نشون میده اینه و این میزان تخیلش به نظر من شاید بیشترین آسیبی رو که باید بزنه میزنه.
he's saying it's very high class, it's like it's very good.
And I think problem is this. Business very is important, maybe, and maybe, this is because people want this. These people want this cinema. You know, people here help for this concept. Every cinema is popular. I think mistake maybe is this, but I like Indian people and in this land, and I have in my nostalgia about some film from India in past, because my nostalgia for this memory is important. I have this memory. This memory is in from here, Satya, but I don't know. One land can have very good, very director and poem and philosopher. Maybe after if you, no. This is I'm not focused. Say me.
That's
okay.
That's
Okay.
all right.
Okay.
Mr. Sulev, would you like to say something?
Eesti kinodes India filme praktiliselt ei näidata.
Indian films are not shown screened in Estonian cinemas.
Väga suur orientatsioon on Euroopa ja Ameerika filmidele.
The cinemas are focused mostly on European and of course to Hollywood.
Kuigi ei saa öelda, et me Indiast midagi ei tea, sellepärast et Soome ja Eesti teevad ühte sellist dokumentaalfilmi festivali nagu Doc Point, kus Helsingi ja Tallinn teevad koostööd ja seal on igal aastal mitu India filmi.
But also, as previously said, On festivals, you can see the Indian films, because in Tallinn there are quite famous for now festival, Tallinn Black Nights Film Festival, which is going on now or just ending, and in Tallinn, together with Finland in Helsinki, they are making Doc Point, which are focused on documentaries, and there you can see also Indian films.
Ja nii mõnedki Eesti režissöörid on Indias teinud dokumentaalfilmi ja väga paljud Soome režissöörid, kes on ruumiliselt meist 100 kilomeetri kaugusel, on küll teises riigis, on ka Indias teinud dokumentaalfilme, näiteks Pirjo Hongasalo.
But the other way, directors from Estonia and also from Finland have made films in India or about India. Sulev Keedus said one director as such is Pirjo Hongasalo from Finland, who has made here films.
Aga meil kinode arv kasvab, rahvas järjest rohkem armastab kinodes käia, nii et ma arvan, et see filmimaastik muutub kindlasti mõne aastaga väga palju.
But the number of cinemas in Estonia are growing, and maybe there will be some changes also what they show there, what is in menu, as to say.
Ja Eestis on, Tallinnas on rahvusvaheline filmikool, Balti filmi BFM ja ma tean ühte India režissööri, kes teeb praegu Eestis dokumentaalfilmi eestlastest.
And in Tallinn there is a film school, international film school, BFM, and Sulev personally knows an Indian director who has been in, I don't know, has been or even graduated that school, and now making in Estonia a film about Estonians. Yes, these are connections. But can I add personally, we have a connection with Indian films back to Soviet times, when many generations of Estonians have seen Indian films in cinemas.
No, ma praegu ei rääkinud üldse televisioonist, sest et tegelikult nii Tallinna, nii Eesti televisioon kui ka Helsingi Soome televisioon sealt näeb loomulikult India filme.
Sulev hasn't told about television, of course. At the moment he was talking about the like making films, film industry. But in television you can see, and nowadays there are even TV series in Estonian television. But as said, there are very, we are a very small nation, and as you compare, then there is even no comparison with Indian industry and Estonian industry, and maybe also the watchers.
I'd request Zio Derek to just tell us about the movie Never Not Love You. Go, Mike. Unfortunately, Antoinette couldn't be with us to talk about the movie. Zio Derek will talk about the movie on her behalf. Just a brief idea about the movie. You can just stand here and space the mic.
Hello. Good evening, everybody. I'm Gio Derek. I'm the representative of Antoinette Downey for her film Never Not Love You. It's a film in the Philippines. It's a love story. It's a romance film. Our two lead actors are one of the biggest actors in the Philippines, and we're actually happy that our romance film made it to this festival for World Panorama, because actually art house films always make the cut on film festivals, so we're very happy that our romance film made it. And actually our film is about diaspora, love and ambition, so it's about how those three, when combined, and when you experience those three, how it ruins your life, your love, and how you settle for the person that you love, even though everything is just ruined and there's nothing to do anymore about your love. Okay, so I think that's about it for our film.
Thank you.
So I don't know if you catched or if you watched the film, but I just told the whole story.
Can I ask one question? No, it was really nice screening with a lot of people, etc. But today it's funny. One question: who has seen the films? No. Okay, it's clear. Thank.
Okay, so I would like to thank the directors of movies for being here with us for this press conference, and I thank the members of the press fraternity for being here. Thank you everyone.